what were the occasions for the kids to hear the Mikado? Was it did you go out there? Did they come in?
We did a series of workshops out at Parr Homestead last year as part of their what was it called, Culture Vulture experience, where we had at least 6 schools from the South Auckland region in particular come to those workshops. But more importantly, it's actually getting the kids into the theatre, and we do that in our dress rehearsals. So we send out as many emails as is humanly possible to all the schools in the people that we've touched in the last year, for example, or have touched us, and invite them into the dress rehearsal. So they get a fully fledged performance. This year, actually, we had such take-up that we had to do 2 dress rehearsals, which was great. It also helped that the theatre was only 660 seats. But
thank you, Chair. I'll be interested to find out how the actors found Massey Homestead and the Māngere environment, which is, it may have been totally foreign to some of them. So, I mean, I've heard feedback from our local board, but the community. But I'll be interested to find out how the actors found that experience.
Well, honestly, the singers were incredibly proud, I think, to be out there, because we are engaging with a very, very new audience for us, and to have the local community supported as well as we have, I think, is great. Dingledell has been going, the Music in Parks that we did at Dingledell has been going for the best part of 12 years. And Māngere is new for us. This is our 2nd year. And the feedback after the concert was overwhelmingly positive. And we will do everything in our power to continue to go to that area to bring opera. The reality is a lot of the people from that particular area sing with us. People like Felipe Manu and Manasseh Latu and, here we go, Marlene DeVoe, many people, and it's for them it's wonderful to go home and to sort of show their wares. But for the rest of the company, it's just great to engage with a new audience.
Yeah, both the Whesua and I are the councillors for that area, and we've been getting very positive comments, so... Again, we both look forward to you coming back to, whether it be Māngere or Tara, I really don't care, but coming back to the Manukau ward.
Thank you. We particularly delight in taking the schools company there, and I went out to, it starts with a P and it's got an U at the end of it. It's a very, I don't know, anyway. It's a marvellous school in the South Auckland area, and it's just fantastic to see the Potter, I don't know. I'm from Boggabri in northern New South Wales, so there you go.
Won't hold that again.
No, but the kids respond fantastically to the operas, and the joy of it, I think, is that we're not dumbing down the work for them. We've made it slightly shorter, but it's it's Donizetti's Elixir of Love, their C, or it's Donizetti's Don Pasquale, and I think it goes to the power of opera that actually you don't need anything other than an open heart to be able to go and have a great time.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Councillor Howells.
Thank you. And my questions are along the same line, and trying very hard not to be parochial, but we do talk a lot about South Auckland when we think about taking cultural experiences to different communities. I represent West Auckland, and although we are often the home of visual art and written art, I don't know how much chance we get to appreciate opera. And I'm just wondering, to take the message back to my community, can you just give me a little story about what you're doing out
Well,
there?
we're certainly continuing. The joy of the schools company is that it goes to every area in Auckland. Specifically with, we're a small company and we have a small operating surplus that we didn't intend to have at the beginning of the year. And that means that we have to jump on the back of many of the council initiatives. So there was discussion last year, I know, when we had been to Māngere for the first time, that we would go to West Auckland as well, and also to Howick. There was a possibility of going to Howick as well. And there's just simply aren't enough funds for us to go everywhere. It's an expensive exercise, and we're jumping on the back of the Music in Parks initiative. We put in funds and they put in funds for the infrastructure. So it's a a dialogue that we will continue to have. We certainly have major representation from your areas in our audiences and in the schools that we attend there, and also in the U3As. We've started that in a big way, going to various U3As, and I have to say a lot of the Mikado sales were in group bookings from U3A members, which is delightful because the ageing population is our growth area, I believe. But it's certainly something that we are aware of, and we don't discriminate in any way. We'll take money from anywhere, really.
Right, thank you. Just a slight follow-up just to Councillor Holst there. Collaboration with the APO, which is not only for your main concerts, but they do a reasonable amount of outreach work themselves. I mean, have you looked at how you can coordinate with them so that you are just basically supplying singers to go along with where they go? Pretty similar to their opera and concert sort of scenario.
The easy answer is yes, we do, and we're part of their Little Singer project that goes out. We also went out last year to a major hospital, and I can't remember the name. It starts with M. A major hospital. That'll do. And yes, we do. We're in pretty constant contact with the APO. It's a very good relationship of ours, and I think it's worth saying that it's a serious contribution that we make to the APO when we're doing the opera in concerts, in providing them with our chorus and with staging and with all our back of stage work.
Just one last question. Did you import the set for Sweeney Todd, or did you build that here?
Honestly, we imported the set. That was part of a co-production with the Victorian Opera, and so we made the frocks, and they made the costumes, and they made the set, and consequently the costumes and all of our artisans went across to New Zealand to build the piece when it was first on, and likewise for the sets. It's sort of the way of the modern world.
So that would have been made some cost savings there.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And unfortunately, in some ways, this is the modern way of opera production. It is so expensive that it's almost impossible to do things as a one-off. For example, if we make a set that is going to perform in Auckland, Wellington and Christchurch in 1 year, that's really all we can use it for. So what do we do with it at the end of it? Do we containerise it and put it in storage, or do we, as we've done, sell it or swap it for other productions?
Thank you very much, Stuart. Thank you, John. Thank you. Appreciate the presentation. We're doing quite well, folks. We're only 15 minutes behind.
Sorry.
So we're doing, that was good. That was fine. Lester, Auckland Theatre Company.
We should do them in Europe.
Morning, gentlemen.
Mr Chair, Mayor Goff, councillors, I'm Lester McGrath. With me today is Gordon Moller, our Chair. Thank you for the opportunity to present to you about the last year and what we've achieved. Auckland Theatre Company, for those of you that aren't familiar with us, is the flagship theatre company in the region. We had a terrific year last year. We perform up to 75,000 people a year, delivering high quality theatre on stage. We work with professional companies from right around the region, facilitating and supporting them and collaborating with them. We are a national leadership organisation, but a real focus for us is about Auckland and creating uniquely New Zealand stories, and more specifically stories of Auckland in this region, and presenting them on the stage. Last year was an absolutely terrific year for us, both in terms of the work we created, but we also were able to realise and deliver the ASB Waterfront Theatre, which has been a dream of ours for a long, long time. We couldn't have done it without Auckland Council, and I would like to thank you for coming on that journey with us over the last 6 to 8 years to support that project. On the back of the $10 million grant that we received from you, we raised a further $26 million to build that project. We delivered it on time, on budget, and the response that we have had from people that have come to visit the building has been completely overwhelming. So I would like to thank you, and particularly the officers and the team that we worked with, that helped guide us through that process. Back to the work that we do, in addition to our main build program, we have a very strong creative learning program that extends from primary, secondary, tertiary, and also outside of the classroom. We support a network of over 500 schools in the region, delivering online resources, workshops, school matinees, touring shows that go out through the region. Strong focus for us is around literary work. We've got a dedicated literary work. We're always working on the creating of new New Zealand stories for the stage. We do monthly readings, workshops, commissions, development of writers, and it is always our aspiration over a 2 or 3 year period to see a new play take shape, telling our stories and onto the stage. This next year, currently we're about to open Peer Gynt, which is a retake of Ibsen's classic by a really young contemporary writer, Eli Kent. This coming year, we are delighted to be doing Briar Grace Smith's When the Sun and Moon Collide on stage as part of Matariki and an associated program that's going out for that. Last year was the first year that we really cranked up our Mythmakers program. We were taking work out into schools, and our response that we had to Mythmakers is really around myths and stories of the cultures that work here. So we took out Sina and the Eel that went out to schools right across the region. We had an overwhelming response. This coming year we have a bilingual production that is going out around myths of Maui, and then later in the year the story of Rama. So we work across a whole range of levels, connecting with communities, finding the stories and working with them to develop them. Big change for us this year is obviously taking on the new venue. It's sort of more or less overnight. Our organisation is doubling in terms of what we deliver, in terms of we now actually have a whole range of other companies that come in and work with us to make work. This week we've got Black Grace Dance Company, leading Pacific Island dance company, leader in the world around it. They're in there, we're supporting them with their work. They're doing 2 shows on Thursday before they go off on their US tour. So in a sense, whilst we're working particularly in theatre to date, we're actually working with other companies now that come and present a range of other art forms. A focus for us this coming year is really around bedding that venue down, making sure it runs efficiently and effectively, and we're delivering the kind of service to the aspiration of what we've created, delivers into delivering the plan for the waterfront as an exciting destination to live, work and play. And for us, and about how we bring communities down there, certainly the few months that we've been open, I think we've delivered that on spades, and I'm particularly proud of what we've been able to achieve there. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Lester. Councillor Simpson, again.
Well, thank you for the work you do. What specifically do you use the funding for? I mean, you've explained what you do, which is fantastic, and to build a theatre on time and on budget, huge congratulations around here. What specifically do you use the money that Amenities Funding Board give you for?
The amenities funding is specifically focused around operational costs. So it's our core operational funding that supports the shows that we make.
So then I noticed that you're asking for another 30K.
Mm-hmm.
What's your long-term vision for sustainability, bearing in mind council is a lender of last resort and your operation costs are going up, therefore you're kind of asking for more money? What are you doing about that operational budget that will help, that will actually lead to sustainability for yourself and not having to come back every year for more and more and more?
Sure. In terms of the new big challenge for us is around the new theatre, which is a big operation to take on. The business model that we have is very much around earned income that will support it. So that is in terms of corporate hires, outside users, ticketing commissions, food and beverage. And so the model that we have built around that is that it is going to cover its own costs. And so in terms of the incremental funding that we'll be looking for, in reference to the money that you're talking about this coming year, that's specifically targeted for an archival project, which is one of the priorities of the legislation. Auckland Theatre Company is now 25 years old, and it is time for us to start putting together an archival, sharing our history and taking the history of the work that we've done and making it accessible and you know, putting it out there for people to enjoy and learn from. And so that is specifically what this money is targeted for.
Since